Light of ours on Monday, Rudy Carpenter joins us now here on Fox Sports 910. All right, Rudy, I don't even know where we should start with Kyler Murray and your thoughts on is he regression? I don't know. You're the quarterback. We've already talked to Minucci about it. Now it's your turn. Tell us where he can improve so this team can get on track.
Well, look, I think like most quarterbacks, he has all kinds of areas that he needs to improve on. To me, one of the things that I think would really help Kyler, and this is kind of an intricate coaching point, and I'll try to do my best to explain it to regular people, I guess. But there is so much. I mean, quarterback is the most dependent position on earth. I mean, in sports. I mean, you are so dependent on all of the players around you. How do we know that? Because the Arizona Cardinals over the last couple months have said, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. As soon as DeAndre Hopkins comes back, you guys are going to see how good we are. You're going to see how good this offense can be. And to be honest, I think the Arizona Cardinals were actually correct about that. DeAndre Hopkins obviously makes an incredible difference. But when I watch the Arizona Cardinals, the word that comes to mind for me is discombobulated. This team, to me, is discombobulated on the offensive side of the football. When you have the plays come in so late all the time, situations get botched all the time. They get a delay of game, can't even get a play called and have to call timeouts right after that. And how does that bleed into Kyler Murray and what he needs to improve on? Well, that's how I see Kyler. He's discombobulated, and the intricate coaching point I would give on that is just imagine a regular concept. Minucci can explain. It's a curl flat concept. The outside receiver's running a curl. The inside receiver's running a flat route. And most quarterbacks and most quarterback coaches and people who are affiliated with the position understand that for the most part, it's in the playbook as a 5-step drop and a hitch from under center, or a 3-step drop and a hitch from the shotgun. Yes. Can you throw the flat on a 3-plant? Sure. There's some little things you can do, right? What I'm getting at is when you watch Kyler Murray do a play like that, he'll run a play like that 10 times. And in the course of that 10 times running that play in a game, he will have a different drop every single time. And to me, that's a very hard way to play quarterback. Why do I say that? Because in my view, the number one thing a quarterback needs to have on every single play is a plan. You have to have a plan. We're going to call this play. If they do this, I'm going to do this. If they do this, I'm going to do that. Football is a game of rules, and it's all about who can execute these rules at the right time. Every single team is running the same kinds of route concepts, the same plays, the same coverages on defense, the same blitzes. Every team copies each other. So you have to ask, how do you win? Oh, you win a couple ways by having the best talent. Your GM, Steve Keim, has to do an incredible job. Then you got to have a coach who can handle situations, get plays called, and put guys in positions on the practice field and the game field to execute those plays. And then your health is an incredible piece. The health is an incredible piece. Sometimes a team just catches the injury bug and it doesn't matter what they do that year. They have no chance because they can't have their entire team healthy. So to be fair, and I'm sorry to be long-winded, to be fair, it's all of that for the Cardinals right now. Yes, yesterday they had 3 offensive linemen out, right? So in my viewpoint, you have Cliff Kingsbury who's just saying, man, I don't have my full roster. I got guys suspended or I got guys hurt. What do you want me to do, right? Steve Keim, he feels, hey, I went and got DeAndre Hopkins. I went and got, Robbie Anderson. I went and got these guys, you know what I mean? And come on, Cliff, you guys got to put these guys in a position. So to me, this whole entire thing is just discombobulated from every angle. And the worst part about it is the most discombobulated they are is when they're on offense. And that's what can't happen when you're the head coach, an offensive-minded head coach, and you're supposed to be this offensive guru. That can't happen.
Rudy Carpenter joining us here on the right. Tony Gus has Rock and Jimmy B. And Rudy, I kind of echoed the same sentiments in the last segment, talking about, okay, a patchwork line or whatever. That's where coaching has got to come into place. Maybe you give more max protection when you're taking a shot down the field with Robbie Anderson and keep everybody in so at least he can get the ball down the field. But I felt the discombobulation, which is actually a word that Rudy's throwing out there. The last 3 drives with a chance. Minnesota gave them a chance 3 times in those last 3.5 minutes to go down and score. But for whatever reason, clock management, the drop by D-Hop, the penalty by Eno Benjamin, I mean, all the above just always seems to come to the head in the most crucial times of either game-winning drives or game-tying drives.
Again, to me, it has to do with Cliff, and again, he is really bad. I mean, Cliff is really bad when it comes to clock management and in-game situations. I come on this show, I do a lot of other shows, and I just always try to be fair and honest. I think Cliff, to a certain extent this year, has gotten way too much heat because I do believe he's right. Come on, I don't have 3 offensive linemen. I don't have DeAndre Hopkins. I don't have my guys. I mean, how am I supposed to compete and win at this level? I genuinely agree with that. No doubt, if you want to be a great coach in this league, you have to learn how to win when those guys are out, when those guys are hurt, and it can't look as bad as it looks. It looks bad in my view. It just looks, the whole operation looks really, really bad. And I think Cliff obviously, understands that, but I lost my train of thought on this point.
There's so much, Rudy. We get it.
To me, it really is just so bad. And I think what you said was how many opportunities the Vikings gave them to win the game. And
yes,
they did have a bunch of opportunities to win the game. But again, what I'm going to go back to is I don't think this team has an identity, and I don't think they have a plan. And it's obvious when you look at the interactions that Kyler Murray has, and that Kyler Murray has with Cliff on the sidelines and them going back and forth. There are a lot of times too, if you guys noticed, there was a time yesterday in the game when Colt McCoy walked over and he was trying to have a conversation with Kyler, and you just see Kyler's irate, not even wanting to talk to Colt McCoy, which to me is kind of says a little bit of something, because usually, Dan, you would know this, usually there's always kind of like this alliance between the starting quarterback and the backup quarterback, which is like, hey man, me and you see this thing the same. Me and you are on the same team. We're not going to allow us to get ganged up on by the offensive coordinator and the head coach and the quarterback coach about, X, Y, and Z and what can get done and what can't. But it was like, Kyler wasn't even trying to hear Colt McCoy. He wasn't even trying to listen to him either. He was just irate. And it seems to be a pattern. And it seems to be something that's really making a big difference in this team. And I think what it goes to is the fact that, in my view, it just looks like Kyler doesn't trust. He doesn't trust what this team is trying to implement on offense right now.
that's a fair point right there. Kyler was sacked 4 times.
3 minutes.
Were most of those sacks because of the patchwork offensive line, or were some of those on Kyler?
Again, like I said, I know you guys bring me on here to, I think Minucci's pontificate. Is that a word? I
Yes,
only
it is.
say
It is.
do.
Sure.
And I think I went to like 6. I think I pontificated in like 6 classes in the 5 years that I was there. So I don't know, but I still hate the idea of coming on and talking about, situations that I don't fully understand. I'm not in these meetings. I don't know what they're asking Kyler to do. And how they're asking him to execute on these plays, right? I don't know. What I do know, though, is I haven't watched the all 22 coaches tape, okay? I know people here, Kurt Warner or Dan Orlovsky or all these really smart guys on TV and the radio talk about the all
2 minutes.
22, and it's like a cool thing to say, but really all that is the high sideline version and
Yes.
the high end zone version.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't watch the film of that for this game, so I don't know. However, I've watched a lot of all 22 tape on Kyler, over the course of his career with the Arizona Cardinals. And to me, the vast majority of sacks that happen with the Arizona Cardinals is mostly Kyler. It's mostly him. It's mostly him doing a couple things. It's mostly him trying to hold on to the ball too long because he has this incredible belief in his ability to hold it, and make a play throwing the ball or running the ball. Truth be told, I agree with him on that. You're going to have to live and die by some of those mistakes because that's the stuff that makes Kyler great. There's also a lot of times where he takes sacks because he just holds the ball forever, way inside the pocket, not even outside of the pocket, just holds the ball forever inside of the pocket, trying to wish somebody open, put it that way. The only times in my view you see Kyler really, really throwing with great timing, great anticipation, making great decisions and playing decisively and confidently is usually in two situations. Number one, when it's press man-to-man coverage and he knows he's going to throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. When he knows that, when he can take all 10 guys off the field and it's press man and he can play one-on-one with DeAndre Hopkins, you will see some incredible throws that Kyler makes along with some incredible catches that DeAndre makes, right? But the other time where you see him play real confident is when they're doing a lot of the quick game stuff, a lot of the zone beater stuff, the spot stuff, the spacing type concepts where you have little quick arrow flat routes, little 6-yard hook routes, maybe some corner routes or some dig routes in behind it. It's very easy to identify man or zone and then work that little spot. If it's man, you're throwing go routes and corner routes and runaway routes, shallow crosses. When it's zone, you're throwing those little hook, stop, 6-yard routes, right? And one of those plays was a big one to Rondale Moore. They ran a little spot concept. He caught it, broke a field tackles, big touchdown. That's what the Arizona Cardinals rely on. But when you don't have DeAndre Hopkins for so long, and when you don't have Hollywood Brown for so long who make those things happen, it's very, very difficult. Last thing, I'll shut up. I honestly think the Arizona Cardinals saw this team as we are going to attack downfield with DeAndre Hopkins. We're going to attack downfield with a big body wide receiver who can go up there and get the ball and make these contested catches, make these big boy catches, and we'll work him in the slot a little bit this year. And that's some of the stuff that we'll do different. Now, on the front end, we're going to have guys like Rondale Moore, and we're going to have guys like Hollywood Brown who are going to take care of all the underneath passing game. We're going to stretch downfield with DeAndre. We're going to blow the top off the coverages sometime with Hollywood Brown. We're going to work underneath on these runaway routes, these shallow cross routes, guys like Rondale Moore, who's a running back playing wide. He's going to break a bunch of tackles like he did yesterday and go score. We're going to have a good offensive line. Then we're going to have a big bruising back in James Conner who's going to get us 3-4 yards a carry when we need it, right? And then we're going to have this dynamic thrower and dynamic runner on the field, and they're going to make every single team cover every blade of grass. But in Cliff's defense, they haven't had that once this year where they've had their full group of guys. Unfortunately, where I want to see Cliff get to, and this coaching staff and a lot of people get to, is the fact that, hey, man, this is why you get to put your feet up, Cliff, and live in that Paradise Valley home. This is why you get to go out in Old Town Scottsdale and everywhere else you go and participate in the extracurricular activities that you do. You know, you get to make a lot of money, millions of dollars a year to solve high-level problems. And right now, he's not solving high-level problems. So, you know, this is where they are, 3-5.
Great stuff, Rudy. Way to bring it today, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. We'll look forward to doing this again next week.
Sorry for all the pontificating.
No, we love it. We encourage it.
I thought you pontificated the discombobulation in a very loquacious way. I thought that was very good.
Stuff. That's Rudy Carpenter joining us here on Rock Minuch with Jimmy B. We'll continue.